I'm going to go right to my slides and bring them up. Okie doke. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Saying September will be busy is very much an understatement. And what I mean by busy, there's just a lot of stuff going on right now with LifeVantage. And the biggest thing is that we're kind of back in season. In other words, things traditionally in our industry, just like when school lets out, whether it's, regular public school or college, people kind of go into somewhat of a vacation mode or summer mode or, beach mode, whatever it might be. And that generally goes, could start as early as Memorial Day and it can go as long as Labor Day. And that's behind us now. And our best time of year is September right through January, February, because you get New Year's resolutions and all that stuff going on. So it's really time to hit the track running. And there's a lot of dates and things where important stuff is going to be going on in September. And one thing I want you to be aware of is that you do not get zoomed out. In other words, burnt out on Zoom. We're going to keep our Sunday nights to 30 minutes. We will do our opportunity presentation once a month. But because there's so much going on with the company, with opening Iceland and then merging with Love Biome, last week that was announced on Wednesday, you're going to see a lot of Zooms. And one thing I want to warn you about, don't use the time to watch a lot of Zooms that should be time building your business, recruiting, prospects and filling your funnel and doing business. The one thing April and I can promise you is if you need to know something and it's important, we will get you that information. You'll either get a text directly from us, we will talk about it on Sunday night. But if your time is limited to how much time you can spend building the business, be careful not to get, zoomed out, okay, which means burnt out on Zoom because those are hours that you could be talking to people on the phone. Those are hours you could be messaging with people. Those are hours that you could be sharing the products and opportunity with other people. Okay. So as we go through this, and like I said, and there's a Zoom tomorrow night, and I will recommend that we all tune into that one because they're just introducing the new company to the marketplace, and tomorrow night's kind of the first one. So I would recommend that. But moving on to number two, we have one more month to the rest of September now. We're down to what, 23, 24 days to earn the trip to Bahia Mita. That's Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. A reminder that, wow, this is just coming up fast, okay? The Dallas Momentum Conference is October 23, 4, and 5. It's about 5 weeks away, give or take. So if you're not registered for that, I'll talk about that in a second, but just keep that one in mind. That's a big one. And there's a lot of really valuable information, training, and also new things that are going to be announced.
And they also only have a few seats left.
Well, I
Remember,
was going to
they
get
need,
to that
yeah.
on the next slide. So,
Okay.
okay. For anybody out there that knows anybody in the Chicago area, April and I are going to be there Tuesday night doing a meeting at Dr. Catalina Grege's office. The exact location we've already posted, we can give you, but it's in the Oak Park area, Oak Brook, Oak Park. The office is in Oak Park. So we're going to be there doing a product and business presentation on Tuesday night, this coming Tuesday. Iceland is officially open. And our team, our group, our Sunday night team here, The opportunity Zoom that we do every month, this month will be September 22nd, or 2 weeks from tomorrow, is it? Would we do it Tuesday or Monday? I don't even
I think we
remember.
did a Monday.
A Monday, so it will be tomorrow would be the 8th, right? So it's 2 weeks from tomorrow, okay? On Monday night, the same 8:30 time that we always do. So okay, so getting to Dallas, go ahead, April, what you were going to say about this. We're down to
Yeah.
45 days.
Yeah. And there's only, you got to remember there's a whole nother company coming in now. So, and I know as of last week, they only had 400 seats left. So I would say if you didn't make your reservation, you're going to be scrambling, and they're already warned us because they had problems with the fire marshal or something one event before this where we squeezed more in than was
They
possible.
can't add this time. There will
Yeah,
be
they
no
can't
adding
add. They've
on.
already been warned. So make your reservations if you're planning or you think you're even planning on going. So
All right. So anyway, yeah, that's a big one, and that's a chance when we all get together in person too. So a very valuable, location and meeting. All right. So as far as Bahia Mita goes, that was they're calling it the mini trip that they snuck in this summer. A pleasant surprise. It was a 90-day run. You could do it in one day if you could do enough business, but it was July, August, and September. And obviously September's still going on. And it's an all-inclusive trip to Bahia Mita, okay, Mexico. So what we want to do is there's a lot of people that are very close, and a lot of people had great months in August. And Kenneth is now um, 85 points towards the trip. If you don't know, 90 makes the trip. Okay, so it's 90 points. It's all on the website. We've gone through it with you, but it's right there on your own website. You just click on it and it'll show you the qualifications. But obviously, you get points for recruiting customers, you get points for recruiting consultants, and there's points for helping them rank advance. Okay, and Kenneth, sometime this week will be on the trip. Okay, because he does business on a daily basis. So sometime this week he'll be there. D has 74 points. Deanne, I know she's on here now, towards the trip. Again, 90 makes the trip. So she's at 74. Archie Smalls, and I know Archie is on here, and I said this earlier when it was just two of us, but April and I both read your book, Archie. So Archie's got a great book. As a matter of fact, I'll show it when I go back to full screen. All I'm looking at is April right now on the screen. But um, Archie has 60 points. He's only in the business about 45 days. Okay, so he's got 60 points towards the trip, and he qualified for SC2 in August. Okay, so we're real proud of what's going on there and looking forward to him making the trip and getting to know him and his wife Marianne when we meet up in Mexico. This is a familiar face, Dr. Catalina. She has 60 points towards the trip. Now, here's the cool thing. I don't know if Catalina's on or not, but she's hosting the meeting on Tuesday night. Catalina had 10 points after July and got 50 points in August. Okay, 50. So now there are people that made it in one month. I just want to let you know there's 8 or 9 people that made it the very first month in just one month. That's why I say it's not over. There's going to be people that make it in one month. There's going to be people that make the trip that haven't signed up yet. Okay, that are just going to go to town and make the trip. So anyway, Catalina, 60 points, 50 in one month is just phenomenal. And we always enjoy hanging out with you guys. Angelina Kardash is part of Catalina's team, Dr. Grege's team. She reached a new rank at SC3, which is actually, I think I have the volume points wrong there. That should say 6,000 points, right? for
Yeah, six.
SC3.
Yeah.
Sorry for
Mhm.
the typo, but she did 6,000, over 6,000 points last month. She has 42 points towards the trip and got them all last month. So so again, she did half of what she needed in 1 month. Okay. This is a recruit by April, and Carol's out on the West Coast somewhere, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. She's on the West Coast. This is someone that April recruited into the business. So it was her first month. She reached the rank of SC1 in the first month in the business. So very, very excited for her. And Dr. Grace Hula, is in London, is in England. I think London. She's in England now. She's brand new in the business, only been involved for about 3 weeks, and Dr. Catalina recruited her into the business. I think they met at a medical conference or something online or something like that. I don't know the details, but she reached SC1 also in the first month. Oh, I recognize them. We are on the trip now, so we earned it. We're at 110 points after last month, so we still have another month to go. You know, they are giving away 10, what is it, 10 pairs of sunglasses from Tiffany's. So we're going to keep trying to pile on the points and see if we can get April some sunglasses from Tiffany's. Mine are prescription, so it just makes sense for April to get them. So we'll do our best to see if we can do that. But we did earn the trip last month. So okay. So the new business for this month, all of this has been posted, but if you don't have these shareables or these links, okay, we'll just text one of us and we'll get it to you. But it's already been shared. So there's two invites. One has our Zoom number on it, one does not, depending on what you want to do when you're posting. But the middle is the one with the hot link, which is, by the way, just so you know, when we do our opportunity presentation once a month, and this month it's September 22nd, it's the same link that you use tonight. Okay, it's the same link. So, you know, now guests don't know that. I'm just telling you, you're all consultants in the business. So, you know, if you ever get stuck or something, and we do it at 8:30 Eastern instead of 8, but it's the same link. So if you ever get jammed up or somebody, you know, that you invited is trying to get on at the last minute, keep in mind that link will work. That is the link. Okay. So it's September 22nd. And look, you know, we've been doing really, really good with closing people from those presentations. We keep them to 30 minutes and we advise them to get back, you know, if you haven't been on them, to get back to the person who invited them. But you know, and not everybody joins off of it, but the ones that were maybe slightly interested become very interested, and you need to continue the conversations with them. But so that's the one that'll be 2 weeks from tomorrow. That'll be our opportunity presentation. So April, you want to take this for a second and you know just explain a little bit about what's going on with the merger?
Yeah, we're of course going to learn more tomorrow night. But Love Biome is a company that LifeVantage purchased. It wasn't a merger. They purchased this company. So, you know, to me, that speaks of, obviously we have large amounts of cash on hand. We're doing well. We're very profitable. You know, our industry at this point has sometimes been a little bit rocky with companies just, you know, going out of business. And you know, a lot of that is people that think that they can just start in this industry without a special product like we have with Protandim NRF2. You know, they just come into this industry, they say, I'm going to start a company. And a lot of times they don't have enough capital to be starting these companies. You need a lot of capital. So, you know, we're just in a really good spot. I would speak to people, you know, not so much about the product, which we'll learn about more tomorrow. And their product is supposed to be as equally a rock star to them as our Protandem is to us. It's supposed to be a super product. So we'll learn more about that. We were told not to purchase the product till October 1st. So my mind, what I'm going to do for the next, you know, few weeks, and I probably have it more organized than a lot of people, is my customer list is going to be updated. the people that I want to speak to about this product, everyone, I'm going to have my list ready. So when they say October 1st or whatever, whatever it's going to be, when we can release it, I'm going to have my information ready. I'm not going to be sitting on it waiting. But I really think with us purchasing another company, it just talks to that's just another industry disruptor. I mean, people just in our industry, I've never heard of another company buying another company of this size. So it's just so cool that we're publicly traded. And like I said, it speaks to a lot of stability for people that are coming in to make some money now, but looking to make that money long term as well. So, super, super excited about this. Looking forward to hearing more. I think we really don't understand how smart and what a superstar Steve Fife is. I mean, really thinks outside the box. So, really, really excited about this. Worst case, this gives us another thing to talk to everyone about. I can't tell you how many people, in fact, shame on me, I have to say I was really bad. I was talking to a gentleman and he said he was looking at our company and he was looking at another company and he said P84, which I had never heard before that. And I remember telling Bobby, oh, another one of those things, he doesn't know what he's talking about or anything. And then we're listening to our executive call and they say P84. It's like, so just proving I was wrong again, but it's just amazing, that we should get that company and their product, because there were people out there that were deciding between our company and their company. And so that tells me that that product has a story. We don't know the story yet because again, they dripped a little on us. I think they purposely didn't want us to get too excited, because right away the chat on our lead call was, when can I get the product? When can I get the product? When can I get the product? So I know they did say those that qualified for the 45 points for the trip will get that product early. I know that's been said, but again, they said, don't go and mess it up by causing a back order. Go to Love Biome and order the product and stuff. Don't mess things up. So it'll be a smooth transition and we'll all get it in time. But right now you can just talk about, what a great company. What kind of cash do we have in the bank that we could just buy up product, companies like this at this point. But get your customer base in order. Get your business contacts in order so that you kind of know what you want to send out as soon as you can send it out. Don't wait till you get on a call on, September 30th or whatever and say, oh my goodness, they've got me so excited and just want to start texting people randomly. If you need to start dripping on them, but get a little bit organized. Give it some thought now that you've got a little bit of time to organize it. And, I would always say to everyone, I think everybody on here is pretty competitive. Wouldn't you say you're pretty competitive? I don't think you'd be in this industry if you're not. And I want to challenge you to kind of think outside the box, like Steve Fife is doing, and figure out how you are going to get around new people, get around new contacts. That's always been the thrill. It's not always about obviously the money you make and the rank advancements as you get up higher. There's a lot of volume that needs to be done to skip to certain ranks as you're up higher. So you've got to be able to play some kind of game. You've got to be able to challenge yourself. And what they talk about these days is challenging yourself in smaller windows. I love the fact that we have this trip and it was only, 90 days to qualify for it. People could envision that. They could, and maybe they'll change some of the qualifications as we move along and stuff, but people can envision running for something for 90 days. But, especially with the launch, the business opportunity, in 2 weeks, challenge yourself to see how many people you can invite and genuinely invite them with the conversation. It doesn't mean that you have to send out 10 copied text messages. Start with, you've got 2 weeks. So start today with saying, hey, how you doing? It's been a while since we talked. Start that conversation. So as we get closer, you can say, hey, by the way, I'm going to be doing this exciting Zoom. Really love to have you as my guest on there. Hey, are you free on Monday night? That's the stuff you want to start planning for. But, maybe you want to see how many invites you can get out, how many yeses. You've got a number. Pick a number and just challenge yourself to do this stuff, because that's kind of the fun stuff. I like when we're at the beach and I'm kind of lazy. Maybe I want to read my book and I don't really want to be recruiting. And Bobby will just say, I bet you can't get her number. And that's all I need. I mean, I just love those little challenges of just that little mind spurt of just trying to do something. And that's what makes the business more fun, trying to get around people that you genuinely want in the business. And let me tell you, the people you really want, it doesn't happen super fast. You have to cultivate it. You have to start that relationship with them. It doesn't, I loved Archie's book, a lot of parallels. He was in the automobile sales business for many, many years. There's a lot of parallels between how we approach people and how he approached people, and that repeat business and all of that there too. So, you know, have fun with it. Challenge yourself to go out and get whoever you want in the business. I have no doubt you can get anyone you want. I just always think that this is the most misunderstood industry out there. And all they think about is selling a product and really not just helping people solve whatever problem. And he actually kind of speaks to that in a little different language in the book, how to help people solve the problem that they have, what it might be. So anyway, just so fun that we have acquired this company. And like I said, just speaks to tons of stability for our company, where we're going, not only today, but long term and what's going on. So I hope you're excited about it. I know I was very excited when I heard about it. So
I was thinking about it today, and for those of you that have joined us in the last, 8 months or so, you didn't experience what I'm about to say. But for those of you that have been around longer than that, you remember a year ago we were in Kansas City and we rolled out the GLP-1 product, and and the company grew by leaps and bounds. So here's how I envision this, okay? And I'm not saying it's a GLP-1 product, but we have a new special product coming that has a story, okay? It has a story. And we will get the story, if not tomorrow, in the next week or two. But this company was only 3 years old, and this product was only out a short period of time, and they were growing so fast, they probably ran out of money. Okay, they probably, I don't know this as a fact, but you can grow fast in this industry and go broke if you do not have the cash flow to manage the growth. Okay. And so try and imagine this. All we're doing, we're getting a new line, a new leg of business off the company. There's a new team of distributors coming over from Love Biome. Okay. And they're dropping in this new product. Okay, that we heard a little bit about. Okay, it involves gut health. Okay, but they're dropping in this new product. Obviously, there's a lot of products out there for gut health, but they were doing something different that nobody else was doing because they were growing like a stinkweed. Okay, and the opportunity came about. So in adding to what April was just saying, for those of you that just really want to do product, and all you talk is product, you got a new one to talk about, along with Protandem and collagen and everything else we got. Okay, but what a great conversation to talk business with. I mean, you've heard us say this on our opportunity presentation that we are a publicly traded debt-free company with lots of millions in the bank. And you probably heard it so many times that it just goes in one ear and out the other. It doesn't even register to you. But do you know how unusual that is in today's world? To be in that situation. And then an opportunity like this comes up. And remember, Steve Fife, our CEO, was our CFO for 6 years. Okay. He's a money guy. He knows what he's doing when it comes to this kind of stuff. And because we were debt free, because we had millions in cash, okay, we were able to just acquire this company, okay, that happens to be a perfect fit as far as the way they look at health moving forward, the way they look at the way we need to be treating our bodies, the way it sounds like a match made in heaven. So for those of you that want to talk business and money, have at it, man. It's hard to believe that you could have a better story to tell than this one. Okay, and I'm sure we'll get more tomorrow night as we hear the rest of the story. And those of you that just really enjoy talking about state of the art products, okay, that could change your health, well, have at it. Okay, we got another one to add to the spectacular line of products that we already have. So, this is the information for tomorrow. You should have gotten an email on it, okay? Because I just took this from the email I got. But we'll get this posted too. But this is the link right here, okay, down there. It's not live, obviously, on your screen, but and the passcode is capital, all caps, LV plus LB for Love Biome. Okay, so it's tomorrow night. It's at 7 Mountain. That's 9 o'clock Eastern, and whatever that converts to, wherever you happen to be. But on the East Coast, that means it's 9 o'clock. But please join in and let's see. You can see what they're talking about. We'll hear why the partnership is a win for both companies, how and when you and your team can get your hands on the P84. Okay, that's their that it sounds so familiar to LifeVantage because for the longest time when we got started, NRF2 was 90% of our sales. That P84 product is 90% of their sales. They have other products too. And Skylar said we're going to get those also as time goes by. Skylar Fobbs, who you all know. Okay, but that's their Nerf 2. Okay, that is their Protandem Nerf 2. Um, what to expect over the next few months and how to lead your teams, things we're talking about tonight. April's idea with that list, okay, with having your customers having that list all ready to go before it's launched so you're not trying to figure out what to do. But I would also have that list of everybody that you've talked to about the business that maybe was on the fence, maybe wasn't ready, maybe, you've been kind of dripping on them, and let them know what you have now, what happened, and see if they're ready to take the plunge, and jump in with us. So, but it's, so like I said, there's a lot of exciting stuff going on. I'm going to stop sharing here. Okay. Does that stuff sound interesting to you guys or what? Is that exciting news? Does that give you some new material to talk about? We're always looking for that new thing to talk about. Well, the company gave it to us. Okay. They gave two things because we talk product or opportunity or acquisition, whatever you want to call it. But folks, let me share this with you. They just dropped something on us that we can talk about. Okay. My question or challenge to you is how many people are you going to pick up the phone and talk to about it? I don't mean just post an invitation online. April had mentioned that. I don't mean, just putting something on your wall, putting something on Instagram. How many people are you going to pick up the phone and call and tell them what you're so excited about and why you thought about them? Why that excitement led you to reach out to them. That's the real thing. And April mentioned we got 2 weeks before we do our live opportunity presentation. And we will all know a lot more 2 weeks from now with what this all means. And it will be mentioned in that Zoom. Okay. It will be brought up and mentioned. Whatever additional information that we know will be mentioned. So you know, this is the start of the fall season. And then obviously we go right into, New Year's and the spring season. We are in season. Okay. It's time to just dive in and get busy and you have things to talk about. You have people that'll do calls with you. You have people that'll do Zooms with you. This is the time to really go full steam ahead. And I don't know if one of you will take me up on this, but man, I would love to see one person get on the trip that does it in a month. Okay, everyone's still eligible for the trip. Nobody's been eliminated. Okay, and people have done it in 1 month. And I would love to see somebody on the screen here. I'm expecting 5 or 6 people to make it because they got 60, 70, 80 points now. Okay, I'd love to see someone make it that I didn't mention. just surprise us, okay, and have at it. 6,000 points makes it. Getting a person to hit SC1, SC2, and SC3 in 1 month, 6,000 points. Do you realize if you do business packs instead of little packs, that's just 6 people joining the business on business packs. I mean, you got to realize that's all that you can do it in enrollment points, and the enrollment points put it all together for rank advancement and do it in 1 month. And that's how the people that did it in July did it. Okay. We are a combination, April and I. We had enrollment points, we had rank advancements. Kenneth did the whole thing on enrollment points. Okay, that's why I say this week he'll be on it because I know what he gets every week in points. Okay, so he'll be on this week. Anybody up for that? Could you at least nod if you'll give it a shot? Wave at me or nod if you give it a shot. I did think about this. You getting a new person and helping them get to 6,000 points. And anything that you get in addition to that, you can place under them and help them. You can help them. It's because when you place somebody, they get to count those points. Okay, so you can do that. Okay, get with someone that wants to run with you, and you run and get new consultants and help them run and get new consultants, and then place yours under them and see if you can't get both of you on the trip. Okay, that's the fun stuff in this. This is the part I love about the business. Okay, and there's nothing better, folks, than hanging out. Yeah, this is a mini trip. This is just 4 days or 5 days, whatever it is, Sunday to Thursday. But there's nothing better than hanging out with your teammates and strategizing. Okay, for the best part about the Alaska cruise that we just got back from was strategizing with people on what we were going to do when we got home. And it was beautiful in Alaska and seeing all that stuff. Don't get me wrong, that was all great. But the best part of it was hanging out with like-minded people, strategizing about what we're going to do moving forward. That was by far the best. So let's take that approach with it. Okay, for my friends in Chicago, fill up the room and we'll start Tuesday night. Okay, just fill up the room and we'll do all we can to make that a splash and take it from there. So anyway, I'm excited. April's excited. I hope you guys are excited. Does anyone have anything they'd like to share or add? You can unmute yourself and feel free. Freddie boy, you good? And your Canadian friends good?
Yeah, really good. We're excited about this as well. Of course, we know the products will be on the NFR site for us in Canada, but we're coming to the Dallas event in October.
Well, and the one thing that they're working out, just so you know, Fred, in the conversation that I had with Skylar afterwards, they're still working through if Love Biome is in a country that we're not, does that mean we get to go in? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
How does that work? We've acquired them, we bought them. They're part of our brand now. Does that put us in that country
yeah,
or does it speed it up?
right.
So there's a lot of things they're working through, and believe me, they want as many countries on the regular system and not the what is it,
Yes.
NFR?
NFR, not for resale.
Not for
Yes.
retail. Okay.
Yeah.
So they're working on a lot of that stuff.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
some of the things that are now being ironed out. Now that a
That's right.
deal has been made, they're looking, well, we're over here. We're in a lot more countries than they are, but they're in some places we're not, and it's being worked on.
Right,
So,
of course.
and the same thing with the products. Obviously, the P84 is first, but Skylar said the plans are to bring the rest of their line over
Yeah.
also. So
Yeah. Yeah, it's exciting.
it is. It is. It is exciting that we're in a position to buy a company. That is exciting
Yeah.
news. Anyone got anything they want to share or thoughts,
I
questions?
have one comment, Bob. Um, in the invite for the 22nd, when we do our any invite, can we put it the health wellness for products as well as business opportunity? Because I invited some doctors last time. They just, the moment they realize it's network marketing, they just, because we talked first about what is
Jaya,
happening.
you can make any invite you want and say anything you want. We just do that so that you have a reminder of the date.
Okay.
You can do anything you want. You can make it all about product. You can make it all about, but we're not, that's not, folks, just so, and that's a good question, Jaya. The invite that we showed you, that's just so you have something right away and a reminder and the link. Okay, the link for it. Feel free to make anything you want to invite the people you want. Jaya wants to invite doctors, so make it more sciencey and producty. I mean, it's but you're not limited to any of that. Canva is the easiest place to do that. Okay, and we just want to get something in your hands in case you don't have time to do that or you don't know how to do that. We want to give you something to work with. So that's why we always.
The other thing you could do too, Jaya, if somebody just wants product, and I've had people that just want product, I tell them straight out, first 15 minutes is product, the other half is business. Do you know I've had customers come in as consultants
Right.
that were just looking at product. Carol was an example, just wanted a product information and then
But
wound up
again,
taking on the
Jaya,
whole
feel
thing.
free to make anything you want.
So it's really what you tell them.
Yeah, yeah. And that goes for it. And we have a lot of doctors on the call
But
here.
some doctors are so averse.
Yeah, we know. We've been dealing with them for 25 years, Jaya. We are aware of doctors. Okay. We are very familiar with doctors. So.
Yeah.
But anyway, seriously, make anything you want that you think will get the message across to the people you're talking to. You're absolutely free to do that. Just don't say we cure cancer, even though sometimes I've heard it does. Don't say that. Don't put that in writing. Okay. Just keep that for a secret one-on-one conversation, But anyway, anything else? We
Yeah,
good? All
Bob.
right. We'll probably
Uh,
see you tomorrow night on. Oh, go ahead, Ira. I'm sorry.
yeah, I just want the slide that you showed that had the link for the Zoom tomorrow night. Can you send that as a text by any
Yeah,
chance?
it's already posted in all the places, but I'll send it to you after the call.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
April's posted it everywhere. It's in our messenger, it's on the Team Unity page. She's put it everywhere, but I'll send it to you individually. Anyone else got anything? All right, so as far as tomorrow night Zoom, it's 9 o'clock Eastern, obviously 8 o'clock Central, and Lynn, what's Mountain? I guess 6 o'clock out on the Pacific side. So we'll see you all then. Okay. Have a good night, everybody. We appreciate your time, and I'll get this posted. Bye-bye. Oh, here, hey, if you didn't hang up, this is Archie's book.